learners with specific learning disabilities. According to Florida Department of Education, specific learning disabilities are neurodevelopmental disorders that impair one or more basic psychological processes involved in understanding or using language, spoken or written. These difficulties manifest as challenges in listening, speaking, reading, writing, spelling, or mathematical calculations. Common conditions include dyslexia, dyscalculia, dysgraphia, and developmental aphasia.
Signs and symptoms. Cognitive difficulties. You have trouble with memory, means you have a bad memory. Attention span. You can be easily distracted. And for following direction, sometimes you are confused. The next one is reading challenges. Poor decoding skills or trouble reading, slow reading rate, difficulty understanding text. So this means that it's like words are playing hide and seek for the person with dyslexia. The next is writing and spelling. Illegible handwriting, dysgraphia, which means you have trouble at writing and you have frequent spelling mistakes. So dysgraphia is like writing, it's like a drawing with my left foot, or you have messy handwriting or trouble spelling. The next one is mathematical struggles, difficulty with basic calculation. In short, dyscalculia. Dyscalculia is just like a numbers are just evil squiggles, or you have math confusion and you have problem in organizing paper. Causes. What are the types of causes? First, genetic factors. Studies have shown that learning disabilities can run in families. If a parent or close relative has an SLD, a child is more likely to develop one as well. This suggests a hereditary link where genes play a role in brain development and processing skills. The second one is prenatal and perinatal factors. A child's development begins even before birth, and complications during pregnancy or childbirth can increase the risk of SLD. Issues such as premature birth, oxygen deprivation during delivery, maternal substances such as alcohol or drug exposure, and lastly, postnatal factors. So after birth, certain environmental factors can also lead to learning disability. This includes head injuries, which may disrupt cognitive function, malnutrition, exposure to toxins such as lead poisoning, which can harm a child's ability to process and learn effectively.
So here is the characteristics of dyslexia, dysgraphia, and dyscalculia. So first, dyslexia. Dyslexia primarily affects reading and related language skills. Individuals with dyslexia may struggle with phonological processing, which means difficulty breaking down words into sounds and recognizing the relationships between sounds and letters. Next is dysgraphia. Dysgraphia primarily affects writing abilities. So, individuals with dysgraphia may experience handwriting difficulties, which means illegible handwriting, inconsistent letter formation, and spacing issues. Next, motor skill challenges, which means difficulty with fine motor skills needed for writing, such as holding a pencil correctly. Next is spelling and grammar difficulties, which means problems with spelling, punctuation, grammar, and sentence structure. Lastly, planning and organization, which means difficulty organizing thoughts and ideas on paper. So lastly, dyscalculia. Dyscalculia primarily affects mathematical abilities. So individuals with dyscalculia may have trouble with number sense, which means difficulty understanding the meaning and magnitude of numbers. Next is arithmetic, which means difficulty performing basic calculations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Next is mathematical reasoning, which means difficulty understanding and applying mathematical concepts. And lastly, spatial reasoning, which means difficulty visualizing and manipulating spatial information.
Another criteria that must be observed to be diagnosed with an SLD are: first, if you have academic skills that are substantially below what is expected for the child's age. Next, the difficulties start during school age, even if some people don't experience significant problem until adulthood. And last, learning difficulties are not due to other conditions. The next way of diagnosing a person with an SLD is through standard testing. These are the assessments in identifying deficits in reading, writing, math, and other areas. Standard testing includes: first, intelligence testing or otherwise known as IQ test. Next, achievement testing. Next, visual motor function testing. And lastly is the language testing. And as for the support and strategies, according to Cleveland Clinic, these are the effective support strategies that should be implemented to aid and assist them. Number 1 is the individualized education plans that are tailored to the learner's need. These are for students who need extra help and support. Number 2 is specialized instruction techniques such as multisensory approaches for reading. Number 3, behavioral interventions to improve focus and organization skills. And number 4 is the collaboration between parents, teachers, and specialists to monitor progress.
Alright everyone. Now for the last part, everyone. Let's talk about the common assistive devices and interventions for individuals or learners with specific learning disabilities. These common assistive devices, or let's say softwares, are essential in helping the students. So like what we got here are some softwares we could use to aid two students with problems in reading. Basically, the software Listen AI, text-to-speech, and text-to-speech are effective applications to help learners. As a teacher or helper, just type the sentences or information she have find hard to read, and the application will automatically convert it to AI-generated speeches. Second, we have speech-to-text softwares for learners with challenges in writing. It's the vice versa of text-to-speech softwares, but this application will help learners with difficulty in writing, creating sentences, and spelling to effectively express their opinions. They will not have to worry about their writing style as long as they can express their thoughts. This application is effectively essential for individuals suffering from dysgraphia. Also, these applications, it's called transcribe speech text, all available online. Just download in the Play Store. Next, we have math-related softwares for learners struggling in basic arithmetic applications or having difficulty in terms of problem-solving skills. So, let's dive into it. The first software is the BYJUS, also known as the Learning App. This software contains a lot of topics covering science, English, history, and mathematics. An essential app for practicing problem solving or learning different math concepts. The explanations here were easy to understand, so it is very suitable to train and to learn and to adapt. But here's the catch. After using it for several days, the app will have to convince you to subscribe for monthly payment. In exchange, unlimited resources and learning concepts. Another one is the app called Math Kids, Math Games for Kids. Basically, this is a game software. You'll have to train your basic arithmetic skills. Parang magpa-plus ka rito, bibigyan ka ng problems, tapos isa-solve mo. Pero effective siya and maganda, user-friendly. Siguro pwede siya sa mga learners from grade 1 to grade 6. Pero pwede rin naman natin gamitin if gusto natin mag-enjoy. And i-train yung sarili natin. Kapag sakaling namomroblema tayo sa ating basic operational skills, baka kasi hirap na tayo mag-plus, hirap na tayo mag-subtract, hirap na tayo mag-multiply, ito, pwede natin gamitin tong application na ito. And another one, got AI Study Companion. Dito parang magpipicture ka ng isang problem and then i-convert ito ng AI para bigyan ng solutions. Ganun lang siya kasimple. Sakaling namang problema tayo sa pag-solve ng mga mahihirap na equations, pwede natin itong gamitin. Well, since puro software applications or AI-generated applications ang pinag-uusapan natin, pag-usapan naman natin itong dalawang assistive devices na pwede talaga natin gamitin at naibibili. Hindi siya digital. What we have here is the number line device and abacus. Of course, alam naman natin na aware na tayo kung ano ang abacus since common ito sa mga classroom natin, libraries, and sa mga competition in terms of mathematics. Pero itong abacus, it is essential and crucial in practicing our mathematical skills. Take note on that. And next is the number line device. Basically, this assistive device is like a ruler, a visual representation of linear numbers in sequence, from left to right, smaller to larger, basically effectively used in mathematical concepts. And lastly, for interventions, first we have remedial education programs focusing on phonics for learners with dyslexia. Second, occupational therapy for fine motor skills or small muscles, especially focusing on handwriting. And lastly, we have cognitive behavioral therapy to address emotional challenges related to SLD. Of course, pag hindi natin mabibigyan ng interventions to mga ganito, pwede itong lumala. That's why, as much as possible, bigyan natin ng support and aids ang mga learners with specific learning disabilities for they be able to function properly in our society. With the help of the experts and us future educators, matutulungan natin mag-improve ang mga specific skills ng ating mga magiging estudyante at mga learners sa susunod na pagkakataon. And with that, we are done in our discussion. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned a lot in our lessons. Thank you. Just remember, everyone has potential to succeed in life. And again, thank you everyone.